Welcome to another episode of the APL Spotlight Series. Incredible guests the world over, fantastic backgrounds, oftentimes traditional healers, but there are so many modalities out there, and there are so many ways people came in to their own that this is what makes the program so fun. We have the really special folks back on the APL Spotlight Series. It's an offshoot of the Angels Positivity and Love show. Not everyone who comes on the series has taped their big show yet. So sometimes we front run a little. They're really cool. We want to get them on. So I hope you enjoy this. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and so on. Even an emoji counts and it helps other people catch an amazing episode. Today, coming back to us is Mila Todorova, coming to us from California. She's incredible, mystic, guide, healer, and more. But she's got a couple phrases that I think really describe her well. Life as a ceremony, love as a ritual. And I think that says it really well. Mila, great to see you again. Love your energy. Love having you on.
Thank you, Michael. Glad to be here. Yeah.
Talk to us about how everything is energy. If we want to go extreme, light, love, how it matters the more you slow down and pay attention.
Mm. Hmm. It's a big question. We can spend the whole day talking about that. Or the paradox is also it's even hard to speak or put it to words because it's the unspeakable. Should I say the unspeakable bliss? It can be. That's our nature. Mm. I mean, presence brings us into the now moment, brings us into the body. A good guiding mechanism for me is the breath. When I start breathing and slow down, I actually arrive fully here, where past and future dissolves, any concept of the mind dissolves. The slowing down also helps for the nervous system to regulate. A lot of the times in the world we live in, it's so much fight or flight mode and go, 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 and so much stimulation. So there's something that occurs when we slow down, when we drop into the breath, when we fully arrive into the body. And in this, we can feel the aliveness that reverberates through us and all around us. It's so subtle that you can really tune in. There is a constant energy, pulsation, emanation that is occurring. And that is here within, but that is also all around us. Really, it's the field. It's the field of consciousness, the field of oneness. And it's very palpable. Again, if we are to tune in, it's always here. And yes, things appear to be in matter form and physical, yet it is all energy that is underneath it all. The physical to me is the surface. It's just like a very surface level. If I look at you, me, even like a chair, a desk, it's very surface. And I mean, science even shows it. I can sound woo maybe for some people, probably not for the people that watch your show. Yet, quantum physics, science even proves it now that everything in the quantum field is ultimately energy. And one thing is to grasp it mentally, intellectually. Another completely different thing is to have the experience. And and that experience is always here for us. It doesn't need to be complicated or complex at all. It really just takes slowing down, coming to the senses. So to me, it's a very sensual um, way of living life moment to moment, meaning I am deeply in the body. I'm not denying the body. I'm not just going in and out and um, astral projecting, which I used to love to do, and I still maybe do sometimes. But ultimately, to me, the deepest spiritual experience to tap into the energy of all that is to be fully in the body. And in a way, that is also returning um, to the feminine energetics as the earth, the mother, the earth that brings holds us and brings all the nourishment here for us. It is this feminine energy that it seems for so long has been denied in the world, and now it's really awakening and coming alive in more and more of humanity. And the feminine energy, I mean, it is just energy itself ultimately, but it also has to do with the physical aspect, with being in the body, just as like the earth again is the mother, meaning being grounded on the earth, like being like feeling that we have a body, because there's again so much dissociation that can happen in distraction and overstimulation in society, just the way society is designed. But if we are to tune into our body, and that's why it's incredible when we go out in nature and we sit by a tree or by a stream, everything kind of slows down and quiets down when we drop in nature. It's the same thing with being in our body. It's one and the same. So when we slow down and drop into our body, then yes, it becomes this very sensual experience, meaning we dropping into the senses, the sensation of all that is alive within the body. So there may be aches or some stagnant energy. There may be some openness. Then we may feel feelings. All the different feelings may start emerging from like grief to even gratitude and joy and uncertainty and doubt. Like everything can coexist simultaneously. And we get to find out more and more actually. There's not just one sensation ever present. There's just such complexity and intricacy in what is alive within the human form and also within the soul that is abiding in the human form. So there's just this complexity of sensation and experience and multidimensionality. And coming back to it, it is all energy, yes. And we can give it different names for the sensation, but ultimately there's also this transcendence that can occur when we're so deeply in the breath, in the body, in the senses, and we're just really holding all of it, allowing for all of it to come and go, because ultimately everything is constantly coming and going. Nothing is permanent. Like we hear the saying, change is the only constant, but because it is, ultimately there's constantly this movement of energy, and where it's just moving through us. Um, it's not just what's in here in the body, but we're literally connected to the whole field, to the whole grid of the collective consciousness. So we can also sense, everything that is all around us. But we don't really need to put concept to it. We don't need to, because then we go into the mind, and that actually constricts the energy when we start naming things. For me, like a great example is if I look at a certain tree, like let's say a manzanita tree, and instead of just witnessing the tree and really just feeling the emanation and connecting, making this deep, profound connection with the tree, as soon as I start naming it, or like go into my mind and start, oh, this is a tree and this and that, it actually limits my experience and capacity to connect with the energy of what the object of my observation is emanating. So to me, from my experience, it's really helpful if we are to really keep tuning into the energy field within and without, is to keep dropping in the body, which to me is also dropping in the heart, dropping in the womb. It's moving literally the energy from the brain that is so used to like abiding as sensory input and output, and dropping it deeper in the senses. So when we're so deeply in the senses, which again, coming back to that feminine energy, which is the Shakti energy, which is everything that's emanating and being created in the universe, when we're deep into the energetic field, the concepts and the beliefs, all of that can dissolve. And in that space, there is just this deep connection, deep aliveness to what is presenting itself. And also there's an openness to meet life as it is, without closing off, without putting barriers. As soon as we go into concept or idea or story, it can constrict and trap things instead of really allowing for what is here to present itself and meeting it fully, which takes a tremendous let go of control of the mind, to try to manipulate the field, or to have an idea of what it wants, or what yeah, it's a type of manipulation that I guess the mind can create. So it does take this deep let go of control, deep dropping in into the feeling and sensation, which can be scary in the beginning because it can be uncomfortable. We can start feeling a lot that maybe we haven't felt before, and that's the thing. It's not personal, um, meaning all that is alive within us is inseparable from the collective field. And this is where we can go, beyond like going back, whatever we carry, right, in our cells and DNA. It's parental, it's ancestral, it's beyond, but it's also the collective. And so we're ultimately these vessels, carriers of energy. And energy is just information. We can really connect deeper into that information when we are in the senses and when we're open to just that connection, instead of again going into the mind and giving it concepts and ideas, which traps things and doesn't allow them for them to unfold in their true expression of what they are.
I love it. Being outstanding in the field with your sunflowers. But I want to add, if we can do two quick questions before I have another kind of serious question. Do angels exist? Do beings of light exist of various formats, maybe with an India background, Native American chiefs, your relatives? Are they all trying to help us out? And can I just get a yes or no on that? We'll circle back to it later. Are we not alone? Are we alone? What's your take on that?
To your question, yes. And yes, we're not alone.
Awesome. Here's the question. So, setting your intent, I think Angel said this a while ago, and I wrote it down, and I love this quote, but I'd love for you to run with it and remind folks how, like, now is always the time to get going. Like, it doesn't have to be some big trek or journey. It often is. But here it is. Will or willpower or setting your intent. Will, setting true intent in the heart and allowing all to come to fruition. What does that mean? How can we grasp that and actually not even grasp it, just be it?
Hmm. Hmm. That's a good question. And especially because now we live in a society where there's so much about manifestation. And yes, we are manifestors of our reality, but I also feel there's also like all these, like, to me, our will and the divine will has to coexist together, meaning we're creators of our reality, but we're also co-creating with something even faster that we're like an extension of. So, from my experiences, when I set an intention for something, usually everything that I ask for eventually comes to fruition. It's more so the journey that will take me in order for that to come to fruition is beyond my control and usually beyond what I imagine it to be. I love saying, like, careful what you ask for because it will come true, but it's just, it wouldn't be probably the way we expect it to unfold and unravel. So, intent and our will, yeah, it's making that type of connection with life when we give our intent, when we bring our intent, especially when it's from our heart field. It creates this like ripple effect. Then what can happen a lot of times is that it may bring up anything that's not in accordance to whatever we want to experience, whoever we want to be. Anything that's not in accordance for that will most likely come up in the field first to be cleared and released. Because ultimately, in a way, it's all here for us, but there's like veils of perception usually that need to be unraveled in order for whatever we intend to come true. So to me, it's this dance of setting an intention, bringing my will, then also letting go and allowing the divine will to take over, meaning it's not on my own timing. I'm not in control of how it's gonna unfold and look like. I can have this like North Star guiding start of what is my heart's calling or desire or things that I want to experience. Um, Yet I also have to like, I cannot cling, attach, and grasp to that. I can intend and and you know maybe have certain type of actions and certain type of energy that I connect with what is, yet I also have to let go and I have to allow for this greater force of life of creation to meet me where I'm at and to do this dance and to trust the timing of it all. So I personally don't don't fully resonate when when there's talked a lot about yeah, being these powerful manifestors and using this force and just when things happening quickly in the quantum field, you're just quantum jumping. And yes, it's possible, but sometimes even if things happen quicker, um, that not always is a great thing. It could be detrimental later on because, again, if we haven't cleared enough to really be in resonance with what's happening, then we're gonna create like it becomes like this, how to say it, like a tug of war. No matter what, things will like come up to align us with our desire, meaning a lot of times it would just have to be a deconstruction before the natural occurrence. And also, there's this whole other aspect of, is it what I'm desiring from my identity, my ego, or is it truly from like a deeper calling from the heart, from the soul? Mm, it's different. It's like it's fine to like have physical desires, like I want a house, I want a car, yet it's like, what is behind it? What is it like a superficial level, or is there like a deeper meaning behind it? Maybe around safety, security, feeling like of home, of sanctuary. And yes, from my experience, it's so important to really be sincere of what we're intending to, because um, yeah, energy doesn't lie. And there are again these layers of our intentions that, it's like, is it coming from the heart or is it coming from another place? And to me, it's just this constant reminder to be connected to this greater unfolding and to keep surrendering to that. So it's a dance of my will, and it's a dance of surrendering and let go to really be allowed for life to use me as the vessel of the divine will. So I've had many experiences when I had to like deconstruct of what I think I want and actually get to the heart of what what I truly want, but it's not the small I. It's it's this greater I that comes alive and online more and more. And it's this, usually it's in the quiet whispers. Sometimes it's not even that obvious, that we have to again tune in, drop in, and listen.
And that's the next question, which is you've put a request out, or you're just setting your intent, one way or the other, up here, all of you, however you'd like to describe it. The universe has responded a few times, probably pretty quickly, where you're either like, oh my, or oh my, and you've had to adjust it or realize a quick pivot is necessary or something else. You've even probably been laughing at times. Can you share a couple of those that are very flavorful, and whichever way the wind was blowing with respect to the request? Can you share a life experience, a universe experience?
Oh gosh, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, and it's kind of personal because I don't really talk about my personal life, but it's coming to mind. So I guess I meant to share it, especially because it had such a contrast impact of realization. So I had a relationship, or I was about to get into this union that I really wanted, that I really, really desired. It was just, and I even like I started feeling into the timing, and I felt it was, and I was just kind of like calling that in, and we were already connecting, but like the commitment piece of like fully coming together. And I desired it so badly, and it happened. And it happened kind of like exact around the timing that I was like projecting, calling in, like fine tuning. And then in a few months, it just literally crashed and burned. There was just so much upheaval that come up to kind of show us why we're not ready to be together yet. Like it brought up the deepest karma, parental stuff, everything, right? And just like this clear mirror of showing, okay, why you're not ready. And I had to get really honest with myself. So it was like this dissolution of like, oh, you want this so badly. Um, but is it actually the time yet for that to happen? Are you actually ready? Or even like, is it the match? Is it the person the match? Because there was also certain projection of just this person, and it's like careful to like objectify something or somebody, because it's again like it's a type of control strategy of thinking that we know, instead of really like allowing again things to happen in their own timings. So yeah, again, I got what I wanted, but then it it's it still showed me that I wasn't, it wasn't the match, and then it dissolved so quickly. But then it's like everything that happens in life, from my experience, every type of challenge, it's like the next step for something greater, or more of really like us knowing ourselves. And that was like my biggest realization through it. It's like, oh, I think I wanted this, but I wasn't actually even fully true to myself, to truly like what are like my values, my like truly in my heart, again, beyond concepts and ideas. There's like a certain type of sincerity and innocence if we get really raw and honest with ourselves, and we don't compromise. that. So there was again like veils of dissolution of things that I thought I wanted, but actually they weren't even mine. They have come imprinted from other people and things. Um, so this is where life is, it's just so fascinating to me, because again, we're not ever victims to our circumstances. Everything is literally here for us to guide us on the next step, of being more who we truly are and realizing what we're not. So yes, again, careful what you wish for, because it will come true, but then it may not be, yeah, the way
Hmm.
that we think it will be.
That was beautiful to share. And I have one, but I'm only going to do 30 seconds max. And it's from like 1988, 1990. I think I had just graduated from college. I'm in Newport, Rhode Island, and I made a very specific request. And it like happened the next day. And then I realized I had totally blundered the request. It was like doing a wish out of a genie bottle, and I had to use another wish to kind of fix it. So I added an addendum to this and then kind of rejected the first wish outcome. And then it happened again. And I was like, holy cow. And it kind of sunk in that maybe you have to be really careful what you wish for. And I have not said a single detail, but I can see the details and I remember the details vividly. And I would just say, uh, let's talk about how can a person set their intent in a safe, not methodical, but loving, heart-centric way. And they might not even know what they're asking for. Just asking for the smoothest, most wonderful path. Maybe it is going to be rocky because sometimes that's the best way to do growth and expansion. But how would you suggest that people who don't need to know any of this can get started today?
Mm. Well, I maybe the most simplest way will be really to just sit in silence with oneself. It's so simple, yet most people have a hard time being in silence with themselves. Um, because first, maybe all these voices will come that they might not even be aware of, or they may be aware of, but then they really come louder. Um, that then it takes like a willful intention to quiet even deeper, to remove all the voices. There's a lot of like critical, control, judging. Any voices like really gotta go. So once there's this silence that is usually always here, but it takes a while to drop into that space. And again, I know for some people it may be a hard thing to do. That's why going out in nature could be super supportive. And ideally, nature where there are no people around. So, really, there's just, you can be in a space where there's just the simplicity of quietness that nature shows us, which can be helpful. Like, I remember the very first time I was able to meditate without any noises around me was at the ocean. And I had closed my eyes, and all of a sudden, I went into this trance state of hearing the waves of the ocean. And it was the waves of the ocean, but there was silence within the waves of the ocean, meaning there was no more other voices inside of me distracting me. So that was like the first time I kind of got a glimpse of the space of silence, of stillness, of spaciousness. And this is a great foundation to really set. Ultimately, to me, it's the most important foundation, because it's the place we can keep coming back to again and again, to actually notice what is sincere truth for us beyond all the voices that are most of the time not ours. So again, a lot of times we may think we want something or we need something, but is it truly coming from us, or is it coming from some type of program in the society? telling us you need to be this, or you need to be productive, or you need to be this way in order to be loved, accepted, to be valued. So in the space that is always here, this silence beckoning, this is the place to me where I can connect with the divine intelligence that has created all of this, that knows best, which is really an extension of who I truly am. Like my soul and the divine, my higher self and the divine, they're all one. So the way I see it, it's like I unplug from here, from the external, and I plug vertically, which is also internal and up, and that's still very much in the body, while also up in the biggest spaciousness of all that is. And it may take some time to get there because, again, things may feel uncomfortable and agitating and restless. But can we really give ourselves that gift? Because truly, what's there is, in a way, everything we want that we think the outside will give it to us, we can feel it in the space. We can feel the bliss, the freedom, the joy, the peace. It is here. That's why meditation, and meditation is not something we do. It can become like another thing I'm doing, but it's really like something we be. It just unravels and strips down and opens our essence. But this spaciousness, silence, it's where we can really hear our true voice. And we can just connect with our true nature in a way that is real, and we can feel all that we want to feel from the external, and we can start feeling our cup, our vessel. We can connect with the states of bliss. We can connect with the states of peace, and it's right here, literally inside of us. It's just there's been disconnect. There's been that constant plug in on the so-called external, not realizing that the external is the internal, meaning we are inseparable, but we project so much on the external, thinking that all that we see it's happening to us. But really, all that we see, it's inside of us. Meaning any type of. That's why I'm so careful of pointing any finger out there. Like even all the war and injustice, anything we see in the world, it's this inner tug of war. So we got to resolve here. So anything we see on the outside that we don't agree on, for me, it's an invitation to come inside and resolve within. Where am I still judging? Where I still have a prejudice? Where I still have to accept, allow, come to loving awareness. And it's an inner type of attention and focus. So the attention and focus, which is in a way our greatest value, really, we can give. Can we turn it in here, and can we create a repetition and a new pattern that will be supportive? And we can see over time that the more we turn it in here and we connect with ourselves, it's so nourishing. It's so fulfilling on levels that we may not even imagine when we're like seeking for something on the outside. So every time we're seeking or feeling like a lack, oh, that means there's a space inside of me that is asking for my love, for my connection, a deep connection of presence, ultimately, to be here, to fully be here, to fully be in my body. and to fully be with all that is, and can I connect? So it's like this relationship here to become like the most important relationship that all of our relations stem from. And it becomes this very deep mystical experience that a lot starts dissolving of what we perceive, believe, and realizing there's a whole different world of existing that is calling us. And there may not be many templates, but it's not about looking outside to find it. Maybe something outside will resonate and inspire, activate that inner flame. And then it's up to us to go in and really create that template from the invincible. I mean, like we have no reference point. It's like from the void, from the stillness, from the unknown. It starts creating itself through us because we become so empty that the energy can just move through us, emanate through us, inspire that inspired action, then it's coming from a different place. That calling and the subtle voice all of a sudden comes through. That it's we get to surprise ourselves and we get to be surprised by it. It's a very different time space reality too, because it's this non-linear time that we can connect in, that everything exists and that the calling of our soul and heart is here and it's always here. It's just underneath all the veils of voices, perceptions. So to come back around full circle, the simplest way I would say is get still, get silent. It's simple, yet it may feel quite uncomfortable and difficult. But once we have a reference point to that place, we can come back again and again. And yes, get to nature and let nature show you what your nature is. That's beyond the words. And I'm speaking a lot of words, but I'm just attempting to point to something that is beyond the words. And that's when we can communicate with each other and feel, and the resonance beyond the words, that's the space of that can start opening up things inside of us that are true, authentic, just for us, nobody else.
I love it. Suchness or awareness versus stuckness. And let's take some steps together, but it's really for the audience to be able to take some steps and get groovy with it. So I'll blow some sage, maybe we'll see some light. I'll put up an angel named Joy. At least get something for yourself from her, but get a talking point or an idea that you're like, oh yeah, I was going to talk about this anyhow, and have her zing in on that. And then you might even get the opportunity to get a phrase that you already have handy, but that you can vibe out to people with your hands or you. And I think that's already what you've been doing the whole show. But let me at least light some sage. And who has to settle for linear sage? Not that it's not amazing. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to light some sage here in Texas. And Mila, I think you're still in California right now. People can catch this. It doesn't matter if it's 2 years in the future, you're in Berlin, Tokyo, Christchurch, anywhere. Just let some sage reach you. It's always bigger than you think it is because it's not about thinking, I better get started lighting this. But sage is awesome, but get some flowers. Have angels bring you flowers. You might even get it as we start doing it. And so get some smoke. It's sage. Let us know when you get a little sage or a lot of sage. And I'm going to even blow a little. Catch Hawaii in the air if you want. Catch flowers. Hear a couple bells, a whistle from fairies, anything you would allow for. What are you getting first of all, Mila?
Well, I did get the sage. As soon as you said Hawaii, I was thinking gardenia, kind of sweet.
Ooh. Okay, well then I'm gonna put this down. I'll snub it out in just a second, but I'm gonna whoosh you Hawaii extra, but it's really I'll show you a photo of like a Mother Hawaii type angel. She's light waves of energy in water. And I'm just gonna whoosh and blow. I'll look like a goose, but it's okay. Sometimes it's silent and I'm just silently blowing. Sometimes the microphone picks up the wind sound. If you'll allow for Hawaii, let her and Joy and a Charlotte bring you a lot of love and a lot of Hawaii aloha. Here it comes. Did you feel a little extra? Oh my God.
Yeah, I imagine the Hawaiian dancing, the
I loved it. You made my day, so thank you. And if you'll close your eyes, I'll hold up Joy's photo for people at home. There's no one way to do this. It's always, which is a double entendre with a capital A and a, what is that? One word, ALWAYS, but all ways. So if you want, catch something extra, get a hand on your shoulder, get a squeeze, get a light symbol, have her just laugh and share that one time you tipped that cow in Bangladesh. You weren't supposed to. Or another memory, or just a really good reminder, a mantra that you love that just popped in, that when you share it, people are catching your vibe. You're going to vibe us out in a second, any which way and loose, to cite that Clint Eastwood movie, I think from the 1970s. And when you're ready, open those eyes. And what do you want to share with us that has popped in?
Yes, I forget who says this. The quote is, "Joy is any emotion fully felt."
Okay, but you got to tell us more because that is awesome, true. But either
Yeah.
an example where you're feeling it, you felt it, how you love teaching this, how you love embodying it. Which way do you want to roll and spin this?
Yeah, well, I can share what joy is to me and in my experience and the essence of how to feel joy, meaning joy, any emotion fully felt. When we feel joy, doesn't mean this is all that we must be feeling. It's to me, it's really living life in a way that is so open, so alive, and really allowing for anything to come up where there's no denying of anything, right? If I'm feeling sad, all of a sudden a sadness or a grief or sorrow comes up, not to deny it, not to try to fix it, to just literally open myself and allow for whatever emotion is here to be received by me. So there's this aspect of loving awareness, like for me to abide in love with all that arises, for me to meet all that arises in love. And then I'm not denying any part of myself or any part of anything. I am kind of like the divine love, the unconditional, you can call it like an unconditional mother archetype, but for lack of a better word, because we associate the mother as nurturing and loving and caring. And we all have the mother inside of us. The way I see it is like, well, can I be that to all of that comes up, all these emotions, all these parts in that arise, which I kind of see them as these abandoned children. Any part in us that hasn't fully been connected with or met in the moment of time, it's an opportunity to be integrated right now. So every moment is an opportunity to be open to what comes up without any type of denying. And then as we allow for that to come and for us to connect, I do feel there's that spark of joy gets to come more and more alive within us underneath it all, or it's almost like surrounding it all. Like to me, love is joy, love is bliss, love is peace, is compassion. All the virtues we think of, love is. So if we can anchor in that love and then allow for anything that is here in any moment to arise, then we are inseparable from the bliss and the joy because we're finally fully loving all of ourselves. we're no longer like denying ourselves. And in that love, we there's like a feeling of like rising in love with yourself. That to me is like the greatest radical act we can really usher forth in this world that is based on so much separation and distortion. The more I can love everything that arises here, I naturally will love everything that I see on the outside that it will get to transform. But yeah, this sense of joy to me, it's it it's just has like a sparkly kind of essence where it's alive. It's aliveness. It's aliveness to be in full connection with all that shows up. And then coming back to the emotions, right? So then, even when I feel sadness arise, or doubt, or uncertainty, restlessness, I can still hold this openness to receive it. And in that, naturally, gratitude will arise. Like, oh, what is this showing me? There's curiosity, maybe. Oh, what is this trying to show me, to connect, to teach me? And then in the curiosity, I mean, when we connect with curiosity, there's really that inner child quality of curiosity, to be curious about what shows up instead of like problem consciousness, right? So in curiosity, there is also joy. So in a way, like the more we start unpacking it and seeing it, it feels like, wow, joy comes back to that thing. It is any emotion fully felt. It is the aliveness of being in connection with life itself.
Feel what you feel. Do not judge. We're going to do a 3-step something where it's a little bit of energy, and then I'll put Joy up again. Maybe we can get you inspired to somehow share a lot of love, light, energy. It could be Divine Mother Lakshmi, and Joy, or a combination of just Divine Feminine flowing through you in a moment. But first, I'll be the guinea pig. I'll put my hand up from Texas to California. Only love and above, not my bill paying or thinking that I've got to go right back to as soon as we're done and click off. Um, but Joy will come up in just a second. I'll do a whoosh after that. Feel what you can feel, put some adjectives to it. We're going to get you laughing. Then you're going to turn around and hopefully whoosh us all, and people can go back and play it and feel it and whatever you do want to share. Just your love and above. But okay, here's my hand. Let me do something to like get away from talking. Okay, feel a little warmth. You can use all of you. You can put your hand up at home. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Just be like, hey, sock it to me, universe angels, make it nice. Thank you. That works great. What are you feeling for a vibe right now?
Hmm. I feel playfulness and type of mischievous quality. I feel that you already emanate warmth and care.
Yay, and thank you. I'm gonna wish you twice. Don't blame angels for that, and definitely don't blame Canada. But allow the universe just to do its job. And here's Joy. So for some reassurance, if anybody's got a question, ask her, or just make a demand. Be pushy. It's okay. Be like, hey, Joy, I want a lot of love. It's been a long week. It's only Tuesday, and I need more right now. Calgon, take me away. Here's Joy. Hear what you need to hear. I'm gonna do 1 or 2 whooshes like a ping pong paddle. It is what it is. I might blow a little too. Microphone's up there. Here it goes. And Mila, did you get that one?
I got it.
What'd you get?
Well, I got a sense of expansiveness, like just openness to allow myself to be more in my fullness. Yeah.
Okay. And now make a request to Joy to make this next one extra bubbly, sparkly. It could be popping a bottle of champagne on the Mediterranean, moonlight sparkle on the water, and you're dressed to dance for some reason. It could be a million other ways. Anything you want to make a request on, here she is, just in case you need reinforcement at home, folks. Do it your way. That's the only way you can do it, by the way. Have fun. And if you're not having that, what are you having? But here it comes, and there's extra blowing. And if Mediterranean sparkle is your thing, let's do it. But I'm going to go extra, medium big. If it's that 1970s stereo receiver, that big knob that if you only turned it 2 millimeters, it really goes up volume wise. What will you allow for is kind of the rub daily. And I think that's what you've been reminding us the whole show. Here it comes. Was that a little different?
Yeah, it was, yes.
Okay, now you're turning it on because you've got all this ability and you definitely have shared a lot at the this level. Show us or flow us some love or some light or whatever you want to call it. She'll give you a tip on anything if you need extra. I don't think you do, but ask her and everybody to make it nice. It's like walking into a New York restaurant. You know the owner, you know the maitre d', they've got your table ready for you somehow. I don't know how, but everybody's secretly an angel. And you just yell to the chef, oh, I don't need a menu, make it nice. Frank, Sarah. And they just bring you wave after wave of food. That's hospitality. That's what you're delivering to everyone all the time. So, look, I'm going to be quiet, do your thing, but give people a chance to maybe they have to pause this and they put their hands out to feel your vibe or use something of what you got to share some love and life.
Beautiful. Well, yes, I invite those watching right now to just take deep inhale into your belly, into your heart, all the way up. Exhale, let it go. And now I want you to really just open to receive. Come to your breath. You can open your palms or however, but really feel an openness of heart to just receive all this cosmic love and light and remembrance of your true essence, your being in your cell, glistening, the water in you, all your frequency, just glistening with love and light and awakefulness and remembrance and warmth. And just drop in deeper. Inhale it in every cell of your being and let it emanate out and through your heart all around you. Create this aura of sparkling liquid light. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Choo, 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 choo.
I love it. Okay. How do we not take ourselves too seriously? The whole ancient burden of self-importance. And no matter what, we get stuck there because we have success, societal or spiritual or anything. We think we know something, but it ain't about the knowing because it's most of our knowing precludes possibility. Can you talk to us about the innocence perspective or just the allowing? How do we keep it easy and simple and walk a smoother path?
To remember we're still children in there. There's still the child in us, and that we are children of God, Goddess, the divine. So, can we allow that child to come and play more? Can we see the world more through the eyes of a child? When we're children, we didn't think about tomorrow. We were just present with what is. And the day felt so long and stretched, and we were just engaged with what is. There was no concept of time. There was curiosity, there was play, there was wonder. So I am constantly tending to that inner girl in me to come alive more and to drop, yeah, taking myself seriously, taking this whole like movie dream and allow for more creative spirit to flow through. And thank you, Michael, because I feel like you're such a great embodiment of just the sparkle and the joy and the playfulness that we can bring into life that is always here for us. And this is the longest I've talked in like a few weeks. I've been in my own little hermit cocoon mode. and you instantly put a smile on my face as soon as we like drop in, and it's just, yeah, there it is. We can just do more of this.
If you're going to pay me a compliment, which of course I know that you're the best judge of character, so thank you. Um, I'm going to say there's something on the way you handle everything with words. It's reverence is, I hope, the right word. It's spoken from experience, but I think the reverence word is the right word. I would turn to you and be like, could you please describe this? Because I'm not sure I could do it. I'm going to put up two more angel photos. It's actually going to bring in five angels. I can do the math. One is very heart shaped. She makes hearts in all her photos. It's Heather. Even the name Heather is the word heart rearranged with extra letters left over. I'm not kidding when I say hearts. And she comes across as an Amazonian goddess. Just think of Wonder Woman with a staff or a spear. Or she comes across as a woman from Africa, like an African village woman. If I didn't just say that, redundant. I can't speak English right now. She's so incredible. Divine feminine glory, compassion, compassion,
Mm.
compassion. Here's her main photo, and then four archangels. Not to shunt them aside at all. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. But I had an amazing thing to do, and I'm completely blanking what it was. It'll come to me in just a second. Um, here's five angels. It says Gabriel, but it's Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel, and Heather. If you don't mind having the four archangels sort of in the background, here's Heather. I've seen her as a human in Sweden. She was a Portuguese ballerina taking time off from life in Maui that I got to surf with. I've seen her in New York, Vegas, and Austin. And angels can do Hollywood wardrobe, so they just completely, the Sweden woman was completely different than New York, completely different than Hawaii. If you don't mind letting really Heather come in, just let me know if she's African or Amazonian for you. Tomorrow you can have her the other way. Don't worry about it. But which way are you getting her right now? She's fierce.
I feel like I'm getting a mixture of both.
Yay, I love it. That works. But if you mind closing your eyes and have her really come in, oh, I know what it was. I'm gonna in a second have her come in and just to get an experience, and that ripples through the weekend. So you're forced by a week from now to write me a note and say, "This never stopped. Like, what happened?" Okay, and people can pause that and go back and ask a question, get a flower smell, get a hug. Hugs can become healing, no limits. But go back and play Mila's sharing her love for us all and do that as well because you'd be surprised as soon as you get out of here to hear what you'll feel. So have one thing and just say got it from her. It could be just a hug, it could be beautiful words, a compliment. You need two compliments. Get two beautiful compliments and feel like she just gifted you jewelry, like one of those headbands that goes left to right with the tiara sort of thing, except on the forehead.
Mhm.
I don't know what those are called. It might have a diamond like crystal consciousness spark there. Okay, I'm gonna show my light. Let those five angels do extra, but I guess first just see my light. You don't have to show yours. You could if you want later. I'll show mine, but then have once you say the colors that you're seeing just in my flow, have them come in and jack it so much extra that you're like, oh my God, I'm getting light symbols or I'm getting a flower or something special. Yeah. And you'll see rainbow light, white light, gold, green, yellow. You'll see whatever you see. It's an excuse for me to tell a dad joke. That's more important. Okay, here it goes. Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. And here's a little bit of light. And what do you see flowing between my fingers?
Um, well, some light for sure, swirling. I almost can feel like a little fairy, like very tiny, playfully.
Aw, I'm gonna go big though, and now ask for an object. It could be a flower, geometric patterns. It could be vortices. It could be, we've had a running, what do we have? A running buffalo. We've had phoenixes, flowers, pretty much anything. Just let the angels handle a lot of pizzazz here. What are you getting now? Whoop, hold on.
The Sri Yantra.
Ooh, you got to do English for me because I don't know what that is. Is it an Indian symbol?
Yeah, the Sri Yantra it's an Indian symbol. It's a geometric symbol that contains, yeah, all these triangles meeting each other, and to me it's a symbol of of remembrance and the divine and union of polarities, masculine, feminine, all that is within us. But yeah.
If you'll put your hands out, whichever way is comfortable, and close your eyes and ask all the figures from India, I can only name like 10 right now. Rama, Krishna, Ganesh, Lakshmi, Divine Mother, the tiger she rides on, plus Durga. Ask them to flood you right now in whatever you can handle. And if you need extra, ask to just be knocked off your socks. So you need to smoke later in the day. Not that we recommend smoking tobacco, nor do you smoke, nor do I smoke, but it's a metaphor. Okay, so ask for a lot of love right now. If you don't mind closing your eyes, I'm not looking your way. Don't worry about an audience in the future by the millions watching this. Just ask to get flooded with love, especially Indian version. So love on an Indian breeze. I'm going to blow once just for the effect. Think the deepest jungle, richest, highest vibration of India, with even the tiger roaring in the distance and a temple right behind you 10 meters away. So catch a little incense from that temple. Let Sai Baba, Sri Kaleshwar, any of the human passed over gurus who are reconciled and cool to bring it to you. You can get a squeeze on the shoulder from like Lakshmi, whoever your favorite is of the week. And from this, though, can you speak some sacred words? That would be the other way to say how you talk.
I am the divine in flesh. I am the remembrance of all that has been and it is now. I'm here to stay. I'm here to be divinity. Mm. Mm. So I got.
Mila Todorova, thank you for being on the APL Spotlight Series. Incredible having you on. That was a whole hour that flew by.
Truly, truly.
Truly.
Yes. That was a joy. Truly.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
thank you so much. Thank you everyone.